What's happening, Hardscapers? Today, tearing out this deck, putting in a flagstone patio. And that is our project. All right, we're gonna get started here and see. Oh yeah, what this thing can do to tear out a bunch of this deck, because it's not holding on to much. I think it's just on grade. I don't think there's any pillars or anything, so I think this will come up nice and easy, but we'll see. Deck is removed. We have electrical wire that we're gonna have to bury, and then a mystery wire, and I'm trying to figure out where this goes. So I'm gonna do some digging and see where that thing goes. We are ready for the bin to come tomorrow and start to move this dirt. I also fixed the latch on my skid steer. Now, I did it wrong, because now when I open it, unlock it, it's locked. And even in this way, it's locked. Don't know how that happened. Got to take it apart. We are done our excavation. We've gone through and double checked our heights everywhere. So we're gonna have a 6-inch step, and that leaves us with a 10 inches, which would be our 8-inch base, 1-inch bedding layer, and then our flagstone is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So that's gonna be throughout here. And now I'm just grading everything, getting the grade right. And also we need to install a downspout down under the deck there. So I'm just cleaning that up. Now we're going to throw on some 3/4 clear, some type S mortar mix, compact it, fabric, which we have over there, will go down, and we're ready for gravel tomorrow. Gravel's here, it's go time. Let's get this step placed. Basically, we want it to come to an elevation here, which means we actually need to do a slight cut so that it gets under this brick here. And this is gonna be fun. Let's explain what I just did there. I'm trying to measure down from my threshold where I want that top of step to be, which is right here. I want that to be right here, top of step. So I'm measuring down to, I guess, my HPB now, my high performance bedding, which I'll lay my slabs on, and then my step will go on top. With the base, I was measuring down 1 inch of screed of HPB. 1 3/4 inch is the depth or the height of these, and then this step is 6.5 inches. So I'm measuring down, I add those up, measure down to my base, set my screed bars, and then I can screed this level. And then I double check now that this is going to be 8.5. I believe that I said that this is 6.5, that's 1 3/4, so 8.5 inches. 8.5. I gotta double check that. But basically it's supposed to be 8.5. I measured down, and yes. Now we set our slabs, push our step in, and complete our cut, because you can see that the step is gonna land about right here. We're gonna have to notch it out for that. So yes, I double checked. 6 3/4 for the step, 1 3/4 for the slabs. That's 8.5 down from our threshold, which I double checked, and we are 8.5 inches. This one better work. Bang on. So what you see us did there is we compacted our 3/4 inch clear stone base, and then I put down a layer of non-woven geotextile again. Now that's for future purposes. If our client wants natural joints, that water is going to go through that soil, and that soil would eventually migrate into our base. So this fabric helps prevent that in the future. For now, we're going to do polymeric sand, but just in case in the future. And then we put out a roll of biaxial geogrid, 6-inch overlaps, and that's going to help us stabilize our flagstone. Because flagstone is so thin, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, we just want to make sure that we're stabilizing that bedding layer and the flagstone that we're putting on top of it. That's the game plan for this. All right, we finally got some material. Let's get to laying. So it's been about 5 years since I've done a natural random flagstone patio, done lots of square cut, more than usual. These days clients want that square finish, so nothing random, nothing that looks super natural like this. So that's why, yeah, we just don't do a whole lot of random flagstones. So the way I went about this is I screeded, even though there's lots of differences in height between this flagstone. So screeding, you're still gonna have to readjust, but I just like to have that surface that I'm gonna lay to. Then I'll go back and actually re-level each of the stones to one another. So start with that screeding, lay the flagstone however I see fit, and then go back at the end and use my mallet and really get them in place, either scraping away bedding material or placing more bedding material to raise and lower each of the flagstone. But at least screeding sets my actual slope on my patio that I want to follow at the end. All right, that's where we are going to stop the day here. So I've just placed some stones on top that I'm going to cut later, cut them in, and then we have to go through and level everything, because since I screed and not all of these flagstone pieces are the same thickness, I then have to go through. I did level most of this area out, but you can see like one like this is quite a bit higher, so I need to sink that in. I'm also thinking of replacing those two pieces, kind of like smaller pieces put together. I'm going to cut in some larger pieces to replace those, but everything's looking good so far. And then have to screed and lay that area. And we're going to do pea stone underneath the deck here for some nicer things to walk on there. But that's the end of day one laying. Amazing how much different this stone looks when it's wet. Well, we're going to start from the step and work our way around to level these stones. That is our flagstone patio. Last things we need to do is we're going to do a concrete edge restraint around the edges, and then we are going to do the installation of polymeric sand. So that's going to take another day, especially with feathering out our grade. It's always the step sets our grade. So wherever we land down here is wherever we land. Like right now we have a slight grade adjustment, but that's better than, more cost effective than building a wall, so you don't have to make that slight grade adjustment. If we were a lot higher, at that point we would need a wall, because it's not like you're going to have a steep decline in your grade, in your soil or your grass there. You would want a wall there. So with our step, we went with a 7-inch step, so that sets our grade wherever we land, 1/4 of an inch per foot slope. Especially with flagstone, I like 1/4 of an inch as opposed to 1/8 of an inch, just because of the textures on the surface. You can see there's some water still on the surface of the stones, and that's just because the texture of natural stone, lows and highs in it. So that's why I like the 1/4 of an inch per foot slope as opposed to 1/8 of an inch for natural flagstone. So we are, I would say, about 16 feet, so that's 2 inches. 2 inches of drop from the bottom of that step to this point here in elevation, and that's our grade that we need to kind of adjust. Down here we're pretty close to what the existing grade is, and here same thing, slight adjustments for that. So that's what we need to do to finalize this project. And the last thing that we did is we just threw in some pea stone underneath this deck area here, and once again edge restraint, and push that pea stone against that edge restraint there. And so especially with flagstone, you get a palette and you get random pieces, so I like to look through the pieces to find the best ones here. As you can see, some of them are actually, you can see a concave to them. That gets tricky because if I was to lay this one, my flagstone that I've already laid could be up here. This is the high point in the stone, this is the low point, and my flagstone could be up here, and that would create a slight tripping hazard. Additionally, it could be down here, but then now this is a high point and my flagstone could be right here. So really try to go through and pick the right ones. This is what we're left over with, other than some cuts. And then when it comes to placing them, just trying to, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do this where you cut every single stone and you create the pattern yourself. It's a lot more expensive, a lot more cutting, and a lot more time with that. Our client here was okay with having irregular joints, so that makes it a little bit easier. Still, we do cut in certain areas, especially once we're getting to the end of an area or somewhere in the middle where we just need to fit something in. But ultimately, I think this turned out really well. Maybe you can get a better viewpoint of this. Like I mentioned earlier, non-woven geotextile, geogrid in there, and then now we will pull this geogrid up when we do the edge restraint, scrape away this bedding layer, and actually our edge restraint is going to adhere to our geogrid now and create a really solid bond throughout this. Also, the geogrid is going to add some reinforcement. Though it's in the bedding layer, it's not going to be as effective as if it was in 3/4 inch clear, just because the apertures help to interlock that 3/4 inch clear, as you can see, sort of like this, and as they're rearranged, that's like the perfect stone size for this. HPB, not as much, but still, even if you walk on this, even if you try to play with this, it does stabilize that HPB quite a bit, because I can't even get this back into the HPB by wiggling it there. So that's the idea of this, and especially having the extra layer of non-woven geotextile right underneath the HPB. If the client ever wants to in the future do the soil option as opposed to the polymeric sand, they have that option without that soil getting into their base material and causing a whole lot of issues years down the road. Okay, I want to make sure that I have enough of the polymeric sand, so even before I start my edge restraint, I'm actually going to spread out some of the sand and run out if I need to go grab some more, because irregular flagstone, really difficult to judge how much bags you're going to need, but we have 16, I think. See how that goes. All right, we have more than enough. I've gone through 7 bags. We have 8 or 9 left, and yeah, probably have quite a bit to return. It's a good thing because these NoCo bags are expensive, about 50 bucks each. That'll be a nice return. So now you'll be able to see what I'm doing here with this geogrid. So scrape back my bedding layer. Remember, geogrid is on top of non-woven geotextile, which is on top of our base, and ideally, in the past, what I've done is geogrid on top of base and done this, but once again, unique situation here where in the future we may want to go soil in the joint. So in this case, what we do is adhere to our geotextile, which I've done in the past. It works. And we're really not looking for much, just because these are such large, heavy pieces that I put along the border purposely. And I know they're not going to move. And I wouldn't do this in a vehicular application. So a lot longer of a taper, because we're not going too high on this flagstone. And that's just what we're going to continue to do throughout this. And there we go, our Flagstone patio. Our no compaction polymeric sand is setting up nicely. It's pretty much hard. You can actually see where it's dried, and then the darker color where it's not quite. But even where it's not quite, it's still fairly solid, a little bit squishy. And now we're just waiting for that to set up. Nice irregular edge that I really like. Adds to the natural feel of it. Sand goes nice with also the deck there. And this looks completely different when it's dry compared to when it's wet. Really great with natural stone. You get a couple different looks there. And then underneath here we just completed it with some pea gravel. And we're just wrapping up here, putting some seed down and regrading our stepping stones there, and that'll be that. And hey, you want to buy some How to Hardscaper, I Am a Hardscaper merch? Obviously not a used one, but a brand new one. Link is in the description. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if you have a different way that you would have done it, leave it in the comment section below. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.